You already know what this is. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And first things first, God did this. Don't get mad with
Yeah.
us. We got the legacy maker himself, Mr. Exclusive.
We in
And
there.
we got the one man and the only man that's going to check you in to the Heartbreak Hotel, the Heartbreak Prince himself. Now, look, normally I would start off the show talking about Raw. But this week, some things have just literally pissed me off so much that we really got to talk about some of the stuff that's been going on. And what's been going on this week? These releases. Ridiculous amount of releases. Yeah. WWE, I'm really on you about this. And see, this is my problem with y'all. This is the same thing I've been talking about. You want to overproduce, make all these people, create all these wrestlers. And then what do? You release them. The one that pissed me off the most, Jakara Jackson. What you let her go for? What you let my man Aura Mensa go for? The crazy thing, the symbolism, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but the symbolism even in that whole promo that they had, that little backstage segment. You had Lash, you had Noam Dar on the inside, and then you had Aura Mensa and Jakara Jackson on the outside because y'all knew what y'all were about to do. They probably knew what y'all were about to do. Blasphemy. Y'all released almost every single person that we probably talked about. Look at this. Look what y'all did. Look at the hurt. My man Aura Mensa just sitting there just trying to play it off like it's all cool. Nah, we know the hurt you got, man. We know the pain. Because I feel that same pain. Hall of pain. Look, I'm not going to lie. This really just pissed me off, man. They done pissed me off so much. Come on. Did the releases that we just found out? Shinsuke got released. Not a shock. Not a surprise. Found out Shotzi Blackheart also. They will not be renewing her contract. Gigi Dolan released. Hayden Carter, Katana Chance, former NXT tag champs, former tag team champions. Women that you could have had go crazy in the women's division, in the tag team division. Y'all made them jobbers. Released them. Gallus released. Y'all are killing me with this. Y'all are killing me with this. And the funny thing is, y'all gonna do this 5 minutes before SmackDown. Like people weren't gonna be reacting to this.
Crazy
Braun
work.
Strowman, you just heard this man.
I'm not. Well, you know how I feel. Get him out of here. That one I don't care. Get him out of here.
Hey, one thing I didn't really care for, but hey, a job's a job. Eddie
That's
Thorpe.
true.
The first thing I said, I thought,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yo, Eddie Thorpe is crazy.
Eddie Thorpe was, I was like, hey, you know what? But
Everybody says Eddie Thorpe is gone. They say Eddie Thorpe is gone because of the hey Denise, good morning. Good
What's
morning.
going on,
Morning.
Denise?
Good morning.
They said Eddie Thorpe
Denise
is
Salcedo, hey, what's going on? Hey, hey, what's going on? That's crazy. Hey, what's going on?
yeah, they said that they said my man is gone because of they said because of the comment he made the Lexus King about the white man. I'm
Yes.
like,
Yep. I thought about that.
Everybody's face was like, huh?
Oh,
But
I
it-
thought
but
that
hey,
was crazy.
But the guy's Native American, and I don't defend it, but I do defend it. So I know why he said it, and it was hilarious, and maybe that's why
yes.
I got comments on. Shut up, Durrell.
This is crazy, man. Like they really killed me with this. All of these really like this is, but this is the same thing we talked about all the time. It's like we sit here and we see all these wrestlers, all these people that were stars. You had a solid roster of people. You're constantly signing more and more people, and then what happens? The next month you're releasing a good drop amount of people. Like,
Yep.
you develop so much. Like, come on, Katana Chance, Hayden Carter, Jakara Jackson. That's the one that's like, yo, come on.
Yeah. That one to me is because I feel like she was still kind of on the rise. But we also talked about this a couple weeks ago, fellas. Remember we were talking about how like it seems like Lash and Jakara's not getting that push that they were getting about maybe a couple months ago, where they were kind of clicking. They were on SmackDown, killing it before the Rumble and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden it kind of just died off. They were losing here and losing there, and kept losing to people. So it was a weird vibe. I don't know. I don't like the Jackson one at all. Not a fan of that.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
You know what?
I know we talked about it on Nighttime, and if y'all haven't checked it out, make sure y'all pop in and support Nighttime.
Right, because the nights will never be the same. I mean,
the nights will never be the same.
When it's nighttime, baby.
We just had this conversation, and you talked about the WWE like acquiring all this talent from outside, and not doing anything with the talent they have inside. And you said, and I think you said it when we were doing a WrestleMania ramp up, that hey, the WWE, y'all just need to stop signing people. And this is like the biggest fear that you typically have, and when you talk about NXT talents coming up to the main roster, is they bring them up and then they don't do anything with them, or they put them in crappy storylines and then they release them. Like Shayna Baszler got released too, and
that one.
I mean that was crazy, because if you know anything about Shayna, and we talked about this before, and her NXT run, we thought for sure they had a star on their hands, especially when she got up to the main roster. Mm-hmm. Somebody that could compete with at the time, Sasha Banks, the Charlotte Flairs, the Becky Lynch's, and Bayley's, and they never did anything with her. I don't think she even held a title beside tag team maybe, but no singles title at all. Nope. And that was crazy, because she was such a dominant champion in NXT. But like you said, Jakar Jackson being released, and I had hope. My dumb behind had hope that maybe, just maybe, they were going to the main roster, guys. Like they're
going to the main roster, guys.
They're going to the main roster, all right. And so,
how dare you think, sir?
I know. I'm trying to be positive, trying to be forever the optimist, and to see that come across the feed that they got, Jakar Jackson got the boot. I was like, oh my, what does this mean for Lash Legends? So I've been watching every day to make sure her name is still employed. Because she's gonna be good. Yeah, but yeah. WWE, I really do, and this last little bit on it before we move on, believe that they need to stop with. They have so many like pipelines that they are pulling from. They got the LFG thing going on where they develop a new talent coming in. You got NXT where you're bringing in and signing new talent. You got the Indies where they're bringing in and they're signing new talent, and they got all these pipelines, and then sometimes I feel like they're signing people just so they can't go to other promotions. And which is stupid, because they have no intent of actually using them. And then you already got a stacked roster where you don't have enough time to get everybody on. So you're doing triple threats, fatal four ways, all this stuff for pay-per-views. They just got to focus on the talent that they have within the WWE. And like I understand you want to have some small pipeline coming in. Oh, and I forgot to mention college athletes. They've been going outside. Look at this college athlete on the meal deal.
Yep.
This, they just need to focus on what they have, maybe through LFG going into NXT, and from NXT going into the main roster, so that they can stop doing this stuff to stars and talent that they have on hand, where they're constantly doing these major releases and they're making millions upon millions and millions of dollars. And he's like, so you had to release these people, but it is what it is. It's my soapbox.
Yeah, but it's been happening for a while, y'all. It's
yeah.
I mean, that's been one of their biggest like problems / like it helps them, but it doesn't. Like it's like they just throw a whole bunch of people in there and see if anybody hits. And if they hit, they kind of go from there. And it does make you feel bad when you as a fan may see something special in someone that they don't see, and it's frustrating. But like I always say, we all saw what Shinsuke brought to the table when he first got there. Like that's the one that bothered. Shinsuke's my guy. Like when God rest his soul, when Bray went to with the Great Beyond, I like Shinsuke was my dude. Like he's always been like he was right there in my top 5 anyway. So like just seeing how they've used him, you give him another U.S. title run, you give him a sweet, new entrance.
Yep.
And it's just like, let's not use him.
Yep.
Give him the title, give it right back to LA Knight. There was no need for even him to lose the title.
Yep.
Just so you can make him a 2-time U.S. champion. Is that what the whole purpose was that for? Because that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's depressing. He'll be
y'all leave Obafemi and Trick alone, man. Leave them
Hey, please, guys.
Don't bring them up to the main roster. Just leave them alone.
Just leave them where.
Let them say the big dogs in a small pond, if you will.
I like that one.
Just let them go to TNA and do some stuff with them at NXT. Because they doing stuff. But
no, I don't want no parts of that.
But let's go ahead and kick it off with the 2 hours and 30 minutes of fire on Monday Night Raw, baby.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie, Monday Night Raw truly was heat, truly was fire, truly was 2 hours and 30 minutes of nonstop storytelling that just kept getting better. And honestly, best way to kick it off when you had Seth, the Monday Night Messiah, the visionary. Come on, man, the architect. Everything that this man did was greatness. Because he came out and he was talking about his plan, what he was trying to do for his new vision of Monday Night Raw. Now, Sami Zayn comes out, tells Seth, look, you sound a lot like Roman. You sound like what the bloodline used to be. This whole thing looks like what the bloodline is. Seth said, man, please stop playing with me. This ain't what the bloodline is. This is completely different. Stop talking to like you know what this is. Tell Sami, you have an ultimatum. Gives him an ultimatum. Tells him, it's either you get out the way, go to SmackDown, or you join me, or you become a target. And he says, you have till the end of the night to make the decision. See how that went. Then we flash forward. Something that was interesting. Because we had Rhea going up against Roxanne Perez, and honestly, two of these women putting on a banger match. But then we had Julia popping up. Now, honestly, I'm not going to lie. The way that I feel like they are putting Julia out here, I like somewhat of what they're doing. I'm not too fond of how Julia's aura is being carried out here. I feel like Julia's got to get that aura to where it's looking like how Stephanie Valkyrie is looking. But that's different. You can't compare Julia to La Primera. But then, we had an interference. So, of course, the match ends. The match ends in DQ. Julia interferes, goes crazy. Who else comes out? Good old Io Sky. Because after Roxanne and Julia is out here beating the hell out of Rhea, it wouldn't be anybody but good old Io Sky to help and save Rhea and take her to the moon. Then we flash forward to, oh man, Logan Paul. I mean, honestly, this is my thing with Logan Paul, man. I'm not opposed to him with his promo because this man can cut an amazing promo. What I did like was how Jey Uso carried himself on here. Looked good, looked strong, looks really good with that belt on him. And honestly, I don't like the fact that this is Jay's first opponent, but of course, if this is going to be your first to knock it out the park, do that, Jay. Do us all a favor, yeet it up, and get the job done. Then we flash forward to the Judgment Day, losing to the War Raiders. Now, honestly, this was a good match. Good thing to see JD McDonough, make his great return, came back, looked strong, looked good, looked like he had no ring rust. This was a great match. But, of course, with the interference of Penta, that's how they got that dub. So then we flash forward to something that was a little bit more interesting, something that we talked about on Nighttime, and something that was really good because this woman finally speaks. And what I've been finally talking about for the last few months, we finally get to see my girl Lyra talk her ish to the man, Becky Lynch. Because honestly, Lyra showed that she ain't no kid. She ain't no punk. She ain't one of your little homies. No. She ain't doing that. Lyra says she ain't trying to be no Becky Lynch. She's not trying to be the man. She's Lyra Valkyria. And she looked good. So now she challenged Becky Lynch to a match at Backlash for the Intercontinental Women's Championship. But it looked good, man, because she kicked Becky in the face, looked strong, put the title up. Then out of nowhere, Becky runs out, comes back around. Sneak attacks Lyra. Becky looks strong, but you know what? I'm looking forward to see how this goes. And they need to keep cooking with this because Lyra's got the mic skills. Let her go because she can do it on the mic and in the ring. Let's see. Then we flash forward to something that was always
Lord.
great to see. La Primera.
My Lord.
Stephanie Valkyrie getting the dub over Ivy now. Now, honestly, this was a great match overall. It's not a shock when it comes to Stephanie Valkyrie. This is obviously just showing, I think, we're seeing multiple of these women from the NXT roster coming up to the main roster. Again, if it's certain ones that we know that are going to be getting that already have that aura, it's going to be Stephanie Valkyrie. I have no worries that this woman is going to thrive on the main roster. Although I still do kind of doubt for some of the others because of what we've seen with these releases, but we'll see what happens. Then we flash forward to Pat McAfee. Honestly, hey, this man cut a hell of a promo that night, man. I mean, honestly, this man had me. I mean, now I'm not gonna lie. To say that this man's gonna be good, but I'll be delusional to really say that. But honestly, hey, this man got me kind of believing that he could beat him. I love the promo that he cut. I love what he said. Michael Cole was with him. The crowd was behind him. Honestly, and that's what you want. This is a pure example of what you should be doing for promos. That man don't need a promo class. That man cut a class of a promo. Okay, whole different story for this man. Love what he did. Then we flash forward to the end of Monday Night Raw. Sammy declines, tells Seth, kiss it. Same way how Cody did to The Rock. Now, honestly, funny thing is Seth did the same thing, the hand symbol. Now, this is very important. This is why I keep saying I feel like Seth is the one that sold his soul. Now, of course, we need the final boss to pop up, but hey, the final boss ain't going to pop up unless there's ticket sales involved. So, that's this whole thing. So, Seth literally gives the same signal to Braun to finish off Sammy. Pause. Braun goes around, spears Sammy. His classic. This man goes, 25 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour. Goes around, spears Sammy, takes Sammy, throws him back in the ring. Seth tells Braun, there's reasons to this. He made his own bed. Puts him down. Hits him with another, hits him with a curb stomp. Now at the end, the last look is Seth, Braun, and Paul. And this is the finish, right here. Man. Now, you want to talk about aura, you want to talk about storyline, you want to talk about how good is this getting. I'm going to talk about this whole thing with Seth. Hey, man, you are cooking up with this. This is good. This is more than good. I love what Seth is doing with this. Honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing what is next with this. Now, the fact that we're only seeing Seth and Braun and just Paul, I'm okay with just the three of them right now. And I can't wait to see who else they bring later on because honestly, again, Seth, you've been cooking with this. I'm looking forward to see what's next with Sammy because I still think in some ways Sammy might be the one to join Seth. That's a big possibility. Yeah, he beat the hell out of Sammy. Yeah, he did all that, this, that, and the third. But Roman did that same thing to Jay. And what happened with Jay? Just saying. I'm not saying that's going to be that same thing, but it's a big possibility that we could be seeing some crumbs, some nuggets in that same way, in that same form. Because, Sammy was a former Bloodline member himself. And Paul did kind of throw that in, too. OG Bloodline. So, hey. But one big thing, I talked about on Nighttime was my girl, Lyra Valkyrie. I mean, she did good. I mean, I love the promo that she cut. She looked good. This is something that she finally needed. It's sad that it took Becky Lynch, the man, to get her to this type of promo to be cut because the girl could have been doing this. Y'all just ain't giving nobody to do it too. Also, somebody you could have had to do it too, and you released Dakota Kai.
Shayna Baszler throwing that too. Throwing that too.
But I enjoyed.
Now it's just down to pure.
Yeah.
They got rid of the fusion and the collective.
They just pure. That's it. That's pure. All we got left.
Next.
Yeah.
Run my love run.
Yep.
It's crazy. We just lost part of damage control. This is crazy. Like what? Anyway, I ain't because I really could go back into that, but Mr. Xclusive, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Boy, oh boy. Look, It was a very good Raw. I will say that. Um, the storyline with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman. Like you are, I feel very intrigued about what's going to happen next in this storyline. Everything is starting to go. Everybody's already trying to figure out who that fourth person is going to be. And when that person does appear, which I don't think it'll be right now, I think this is something they're going to milk for a little bit before they break in that next person. The Sami Zayn factor could be a very interesting route since Sami's never won the title. And I think this could be the road to where we see Sami Zayn finally win a world championship. I think that this may be his WrestleMania moment. Now, I think that what it is he's going to have this internal battle with them. It may not be every month, it may not drag like how CM Punk and Drew McIntyre and all that. But I think that this will be the beginnings of it, where every now and then throughout this year, he's going to try to put this, in this faction. And I think that leads to him at some point becoming world champion. I love Jey Uso. I think Seth will probably end up being the one that takes it from him and have him going into Mania, maybe against Sami, which I think people will be invested in because, like, nugget-wise, you look at the fact that they're friends. They talked about how their kids play outside, outside of the ring and outside of, WWE. Sami did a really good job because there were moments during that promo at the beginning where I said, this guy's Mick Foley. If you go back, close your eyes and just listen to Sami, the breathing. And I was sitting there like, is this Mick Foley right now? Like, we talking about like prime. Oh my God. Like that Mick Foley, he sounded just like Mick. And I was just like, that's crazy. Then he got the hair, he's got the beard. And I'm like, okay.
Chad is hurt. Sami is Mick.
Right. And Sami could somewhat play that role, not the demented and crazy different ranges, but he could play that mode of a guy who's been a workhorse his entire career and then get to the point where he could be a champion, just like when Mick Foley shocked the world and won the title and people saw him as a legitimate world champion for his title reigns. I think he was like a 3-time champion overall, and people saw Mick Foley. I think world champion. I think this could be Sami Zayn's moment. It may not happen right away, y'all, but don't be surprised if WrestleMania 42 in New Orleans, this is Sami's chance to finally become a world champion. I think he gets it. They've been trying to work this storyline of the lovable loser for so long. Well, at least that's what I call it, for so long, that I think this could be the time that he gets his world championship. And just imagine what that would be for Sami, winning the championship. They may even do it at one of the PLEs they have in Canada, because I know that they have been talking about, I think either like SummerSlam or one of the big ones at some point being in Canada. So if that's happening and Sami's in the mix and that's something that we have to look out for. So very excited to see where they go with it. And whoever they just end up going with for the fourth member, I think they have to make sure they pick the right person. And right now, I don't know who that person is. The Austin Theories, the Carmella Hayes, I've heard all that. I just don't know who that person is yet. But I think when the time is right, we'll get that person. The only other thing that I really want to talk about would probably be the situation with the women's championship, the women's thing that they got going on with Stephanie and Julia. I kind of want to piggyback off of what you said. I'm a little worried though. I think some of what they're doing with Julia is cool, but Stephanie has brought this aura. It's to another level right now in NXT. And Julia never got a chance to kind of like build hers. Like, I think at first everybody was like Julia, Stephanie. Then once things started rolling, it just jumped and Stephanie just leapfrogged her. So now I'm worried, and I don't want her to get lost in the sauce. And she's a great wrestler, but I feel like it's happening, and I don't want that to happen to her. Yeah. That's my concern right now with that. But I am intrigued. I think, like you said, Stephanie can on the main roster, she's gonna be a monster. So let's go ahead and prepare for that. And Pat McAfee, Gunther, I don't care about that. I don't want to see that match. Why is it happening? Unless they're trying to get Pat gone for a while, I don't care. Get it out of here. Get out of here right now. I don't want to watch that. Out of here. Go.
Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Hey, I'm all for Pat. So hey, look, I'm on the other side of that. I love Pat, love the promo Pat cut. And I know like he's not gonna take Gunther or beat Gunther in this match unless there's some type of like outside interference. Maybe Michael Cole comes and helps him out or something crazy. But just seeing Pat McAfee in the ring, the man is amazing on the mic. It doesn't surprise me that he could cut the promo, the type of promo that he cut on Monday, because of the fact that this is what he does. He's a media mogul, and then he has the commentary. So we know that the man can go, and he just showed you, that he could do that on Monday Night Raw. But in the ring, it's another thing, and he's good in the ring as well. And that's another thing about it is the man's just an athlete. I think about his match with Adam Cole, baby, phenomenal, and could just go and so I'm excited for him on that aspect, just to be able to see him wrestle, see him come out, the crowd take him in, his intro hits and all that type of stuff. That's going to be great. But the next thing is Julia. I know everybody's kind of like, I know La Primera has kind of taken the reins with this whole women's division thing, because right now she is the hot topic. But for me, it's still the beautiful madness. I love Julia. I'm a sucker for intros and the way you look in an intro. And Julia, I just love her style. I love her music. I love the mask and robes that she wears. So I'm hoping that they will find her rhythm and let her go as well, because Julia is also a great wrestler, and hopefully one of these days we get a La Primera versus Julia, an actual match. I know we had it on NXT, but a good rematch one-on-one with those ladies to go for the gold for that. And then lastly, to hop in with Seth Rollins. I mean, guy right now is cooking on all cylinders. We've talked about this on Nighttime. I'm very excited about the story they have, because I need Triple H and the WWE to give me what I want, and what I want is El Generico, Sami Zayn, to have a title, because he's exactly that. He's generic. He's a generic wrestler, right? He doesn't look flashy. He don't have the best like body shape, like he's not built like a Rock or anything of that nature. So when you think champion, you start thinking of stuff like Randy Orton's, John Cena's, Rock's, Stone Cold's, Bret Hart's, people that look like world champion type things. But give me El Generico. Give me the everyday looking guy that can go out here and just deliver in matches, and Kevin Owens is another one that's kind of an outsider of that. He's not your typical looking wrestler, but the man can go. So hey, El Generico, I need you to take down the visionary. I need you to overcome the revolutionary, and I need you to outwit, outsmart, outlast the architect and take home the gold at least once, because he deserves it, man. He's been in the WWE for a minute, and he has yet to carry the heavyweight championship, and he's such a good wrestler, such a good performer. And I thought after the match he had with Roman Reigns a while back that the WWE might view him in that world title card, because he delivered in that match. That was such a good match between him and Roman. And then it just never developed again. So maybe this is it. Maybe this is that time where, what's his name? Triple H. Thank you. Pulls the curtains back again. I can't think of my boy name. Pulls the curtains back again. And then he like he did with Jey Uso. He said, "Hey, look, kid, I'm gonna send you up into the atmosphere, rocket you up into the atmosphere. Do the same for Sam." And I think it could be done. So I'm excited about where this story is going and can go. And so yeah, I'm all for it. So WWE Raw was cooking, and so I enjoyed it.
Yeah, if they do this one right, that's why I feel this could be it. Like, it may take some time, and it may be a long, drawn out little bit of a story, but that's cool. But if it all capitalized with Sammy winning at WrestleMania, those people are gonna go crazy, man. Like, Sammy's the lovable loser, and the lovable loser wins the championship. It's gonna be perfect.
Yeah. And then one last thing I can't forget to touch on is Lyra. I mean, the fact that we haven't heard her speak in weeks, and then we finally hear her speak. She cuts a promo. It's against Becky Lynch, and she delivers. I mean, this was better than, no offense to him, but this is better than Tiffy Time and Charlotte. So, Yeah,
Like,
I was just so happy for her to see that she could step up in this moment and match the intensity of the Mon. And so, yeah, it was great. And I'm hoping this is the thing that kind of starts to change the opinion or the view of Lyra Valkyria, because of the fact that we just hadn't seen her in any type of storyline since she's had the Intercontinental Championship. And so maybe this is it for her, and this is a great way to do it. So that's another good type of story that they're starting to develop there, and I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, I love why Lyra said, "Shut the hell up, Becky." I said,
Yeah.
"Whoa."
Yeah.
Yeah, she did good. But I just wanted to touch back what you guys were talking about with Sammy in that Roman match, because they had, when they was on that road to WrestleMania, they had a show out here in Greenville when Sammy had came and attacked Roman through the hoodie. That crowd popped. That stadium in there, they went crazy. And I was like, oh no, I was like, he could do this. If this was like a Mania, yeah, he could do it. So yeah, I definitely agree. I think he's got it. I think he definitely does deserve it. I mean, the man had the NXT champion and really had it. I mean, even that storyline with him and Kevin Owens was cooking at that time. So I think, they can definitely do a lot with Sammy. So he's definitely got that potential to really tell stories, because I think he's been doing that for the last couple of years. So yeah, give Sammy that title, man. He deserves it, man. But we talked about some of the great things with Monday Night Raw. Now it's time to talk about Shawn Michaels constantly cooking it up with NXT, baby.
NXT.
Got to talk about some of the great things with NXT. One thing I definitely got to say, Shawn, you had a couple of seasons missing, and I told you about that on Nighttime. But you're still hooked up. So, Shawn, I'm going to continue to give you the chef's hat, because you did your thing this week. So, because the best thing, one of my favorite parts, and we started off, because if you say his name, he's going to appear. Because that man, Joe Hendry, came through and started off NXT. He came out. I mean, this was good stuff. Came out, called out Trick Willy Wonka. Told Trick, look, I'm about tired of it, because Trick came in and already had attacked Joe Hendry at Rebellion. So he's looking for Trick. Told Trick, man, come on, stop playing, come out here. And what happens? Who comes out? Not Trick. Dark State. This is who we get. So now Dark State comes out. They attack Joe Hendry, beat the hell out of Joe Hendry. I mean, just to the point where this man just cannot do anything else. To the point where, I mean, they're looking strong. Dark State is looking good. Joe Hendry's on the ground. I mean, and then that's what happens. But, we'll see what happens with that. And we flash forward to the championship match. Ricky Saints beating Lexis King. Now, this was a really great match, and honestly, I don't know what to say with Lexis King, because my man done lost the Heritage Cup, and then you just lost this title match. I'm very concerned for my man Lexis King. I mean, granted, it's 2 L's. Shouldn't be that concerned, but these are two title opportunities that you lost. After this, man, I don't know what to say about this. But something that was interesting. Something that has story. Something that was really good was Stacks. Stacks talking to Tony D. Telling Tony that you're not the Don no more. Telling Tony that everything that you thought you had is now falling apart. Everybody that you have is leaving. They're losing. Everybody's just gone. And you don't even know who to trust. And he told Tony D that. And what happened? Security. Some of his own security. Now his family right there. Now they good. But it was the other security that came. Trying to come and attack. Trying to get the Don. But the Don does what the Don always do. Handles business. Gets it done. Because that's what the Don is always doing. Huh? So then after that, Tony D tells Stacks, I'll be looking for you next week. I can't wait to see what Tony D's about to do with that. Then we flash forward to something that was, of course, very upsetting, something that pissed us all off, something where you even heard the crowd. The crowd was booing. The crowd was yelling. I almost heard this same reaction like they seen the Shield break up. Like they watched Seth about to hit Roman with the chair. I heard those kind of cries because they knew what was happening. Man, go ahead to the next one. I'm done with this. Then we flash forward to a great soul snatcher. One and only. Soul Ruka getting the dub on Carmen Petrovic. I mean, honestly, we're going to have to start getting these replays of this because this is just greatness. Getting the dub on Carmen Petrovic. Carmen literally kicks my man Adonis to the curb. We knew that was happening sooner or later, but Soul looks good. She comes out there with Zarya. Get Zarya out of there. I'm sick of this. Let Soul do what Soul does. Then we flash forward to something that was an emergence. Something that became new. Something that became almost like a new debut, like a return. Because this is no longer, good old Trick Williams. This ain't even Trick Willy Wonka. Nah. This right here is Hollywood Trick. Hollywood, stop playing with him. Look, Trick talking about a lot of stuff now. Talking about how he did what he did to Joe Hendry on Rebellion. Talks about how he's on the season finale on the show that's on the CW. Saying that he's on the big screen. He said Trick, I almost called him Trick Willy Wonka. Hollywood Trick said he's almost bigger than NXT. Hold on now. You sure about that? Trick was for real. Trick wasn't playing, but who comes out? Ava. Ava comes out, tells Trick, okay, so you think you're so big? Well, guess what? Pause. Guess what? This is about to be a 25-man battle royal. Whoever wins this faces Obafemi at Battleground. Let's see what happens with that. And you know who else was in that? The young OG. Then, speaking of Obafemi, the ruler. Ooh, you know what it is. Taker tells Oba, look, I know this is your yard, but I got some guys in LFG that are ready to take over. Man, please stop playing Taker. You think any of these dudes really gonna be anything against the ruler? Stop playing. That's why he says he's looking forward to the challenge.
Undertaker might be nipping.
Man, please, man. Undertaker, no. Oba can take every single one of these dudes out right here. Especially my man with the chains on his neck. I don't know what he think he was doing. Stop playing with it. Then we flash forward to Hank and Tank beating Josh Briggs and Inamura. Honestly, great match. Great title defense. Honestly, and I've said this on Nighttime. We talked about this on Nighttime. These guys right here, I think they're going to have this title all the way to Stand and Deliver in New Orleans. And if they drop it, that's probably the next time they're going to drop that title. Because these guys are the only ones right now that got story. And it makes sense, and it works, and the crowd's behind them. And I love what they're doing, man. These guys are entertaining. Look, no, he's not lying. Temple Place, I feel you on that one. LFG, yeah, they definitely are going to get released in the next 4 to 5 years. Why? Because this is what they do. They've been doing this. They're going to keep creating talent, and they're going to release them. I fear for Hank and Tank right here.
Temple Place, that's diabolical, man.
I fear for them right here, right now. Because if they go to the main roster, they don't do nothing. We know what's going to happen to them.
Yep.
Poor guys.
So then we flash forward to the main event. Io Sky. I mean, honestly, and the crowd is just overly in love with Io. She's going to the moon.
So crazy.
It's crazy.
Thanks to the European
goes
crowd.
Overseas. Goes overseas to the European crowd. She gets extremely over. And I mean, she's killing it. The backstage segments are great. They're funny. She's entertaining right now. The people are loving it. They're not mad at it. Who can be mad at Io Sky? She's going to the moon. Who did she beat? Roxanne Perez. And honestly, again, Roxanne lost Monday. Roxanne lost on Friday. Roxanne lost on Tuesday. Roxanne lost last Monday. I don't know what's going on with Roxanne. I'm not liking what they doing with Roxanne, man. Stop making my girl Roxanne look like a jobber. But honestly, Io Sky gets the dub on Roxanne Perez. And this is the finish right here. I like what they said there. That was good.
We coming
Now,
for you.
we're coming for you.
We coming
Now,
for you.
to be honest, I really enjoyed NXT. I had very I would say slim to none to no problems. Of course, my one biggest problem, of course, metaphor. Not talking about no more. I'm done with
I'm
that
done.
whole thing.
I'm upset.
Done. But the only thing I can say about that, hey, Lash Legend, lash out, be the big Lash, do what you do best, because it's time. Do it. If they gonna drop your car, I hate to see your car get dropped. But now you got to go crazy. Now this is the time you need to beat the hell, and I love Bianca. Beat the hell out of Bianca. Beat the hell out of Jacob. Out of Jada. Beat the hell.
Man, she
out of my
beating up
girl
Jacob.
Lottie. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Hey, she did slam Otis, so anything is possible, right?
Anything's possible. Lash, you got to go crazy. Beat the hell out of Lonnie. Beat the hell out of Jada Parker. Beat the hell out of anybody that comes in your way. Get a title. Go crazy. Show them why you the big Lash. Show them why.
Big
You
Lash.
Okay.
Big Lash.
Okay. Weirder is taking the releases as if it was effective. Now, you know what? Yeah, it's true. It does. In some ways, it does affect our way of life. Some people it does. And for some people, it does. Because honestly, it does suck to see some people get released, man. It does. Because you take that investment with some of these wrestlers, man. You take that time. Some of these people, some of these wrestlers you watch develop and get better over the years, especially Jakara Jackson. For real, honestly, Jakara Jackson, that one is still like crazy because that girl really did improve and get better in that ring, man. I mean, doing the spots that she was doing, it wasn't looking bad. So we'll see.
Well, I want to say with Temple players, I'll give you this. Matt Cardona said something. He posted about, he posted something about this.
Yeah.
And so, yes, it does give these wrestlers a chance to shine in other places and, go to these other places and do what you need to do. And then, hey, if you do great, you could be a Cody. You could maybe eventually be a Matt Cardona because we know he's going to come back to WWE at some point. It's going to happen at some point before Chelsea or whatever release or whatever they end up doing. We don't want that to happen now. But that will happen at some point. But they have a chance to go out here and really do something big and remake a name for themselves and make WWE bring you back. And I think that's the challenge for a lot of these young talents out there. WWE gave them the tools to kind of get where they need to be. Now it's up to them to go out there and try to, brand themselves to another level. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah,
that's my take on people. Hey, look, man, Temple plays. I feel you, brother. But there's a few of them. It's like when you love somebody, like if you love a wrestler, you care about a wrestler, and you hate to see him get a release because you wanted to do so well. So no, I feel you, brother. I feel you. But it's just one of those things where it's like it's hard when you really like someone. Like I'm a big Shinsuke guy. All right, I'm a big Shinsuke guy. Still upset the way he was used the last couple of months, but hey. It is what it is, He's gonna go and shine in New Japan, or he's gonna go wherever he go. He's gonna be what is gonna be great, like Shinsuke's always been. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Yeah, I mean, overall NXT again, very good show. It's not really too many gripes I have about it. The highlight of the night for me, of course, is the Don and Stacks. I really love this storyline they have going right here between the two of them. Stacks, kind of trying to step out on his own, but he's challenging the boss, the Don himself. So it's an exciting thing because it's like, all right, well, where is this going to go? What is going to happen with Stacks? What is going to happen with the Don? Will they be able to fix this relationship, or is it going to be forever departed? And so it's going to be, it's something that's keeping me invested. Or each week I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do next with Tony D and the family, and it's good. It's really good. It's a really good thing to have Tony D, and especially since he's not carrying any of the main titles right now, with him losing the North American Championship, and he's not in the NXT Championship picture right now. So to give him a great storyline and not instead of keeping him in the back or in catering and all that kind of stuff, saying we got nothing for you, they got a great story going here with them. And then of course Trick being Trick. Hollywood Trick is just hilarious. Because of the fact that Trick he's been crashing out for the last few weeks. And we've been trying to figure out where is he going with this? What are they going to do with Trick and all this kind of stuff? And then he goes off, he does a show, and he comes out, and the crowd chants Hollywood Trick. And as I said on nighttime, Hollywood Trick is born. And I hope they take they run with it a little bit and start going down that path of having a Hollywood Trick, and just letting him do his thing. I still don't think he's worthy of taking down the ruler. But it's still good to see Trick actually cutting a good promo and kind of really just being in the moment and letting the fans have their voice and like taking it in with the Hollywood Trick thing. That was great as well. And then of course with the women, NXT, that's the one thing that they have going strong is their women's division is just it's immaculate. It's amazing. They just it's just A1 when you talk about NXT roster, Raw, SmackDown when it comes to the women's division. And you're seeing that with these women going into making appearances on the Raws and the SmackDowns and just how good and the talent that they have there. So, but overall, great. And last but not least, we got a Joe Hendry sighting. So that already takes it over the top. That already takes it over the top. So yeah, great run. Great NXT show.
Yeah. I liked the NXT. I thought it was a good show. Overall, it wasn't probably one of their premier shows, but it definitely was a solid show. And I think when you're in between and you're trying to get to the next pay-per-view or whatever, you want to have at least solid shows leading up to it. I thought it was decent. I love the work from Trick right now. When him going over to TNA, he got a big pop when they thought he was coming out initially, and so Joe Hendry comes in the ring. He's like, "I'm tired of you, Trick. Come, I can't do a good Irish voice, Scottish voice, but he's like, Trick, I want you out there right now." And then and Trick, you hit dun, 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 and then so the music hits, and the TNA crowd is whoop that. So they're in it, right? And then my man pulled up via satellite. Hey, yo, what's up, man? He started talking, and I'm like, okay. So for the first time in a while, I know we always talked about, we said, man, Trick, you're a little iffy on the mic. It's gotten better. I can see the improvement, and especially this the last couple of weeks, I feel like the improvement is a lot better. Come than on, what it was. Bro. Because what it was, like it just felt like he was whining a lot. But the way he presented himself on TNA, I was like, this is actually good the way he did this. And so the way it kind of just like mixed in, and Joe Hendry was all upset, and then that he wasn't there, and then who comes out and ruins the match. And when the Hardys up there, and it was actually a good match, by the way, Hardys and Joe Hendry against Nick Nemeth and Ryan Nemeth and Frankie Kazarian, they're going back. Great match. And then you see Trick come out there. He flips Joe Hendry, and he's just sitting back, leaning, talking to the fans like they've been like, "Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing?" There's a guy that has a Trick's a crybaby sign right behind him, and I'm like, the heat is there for him. So I love that. And I love the way his interaction with TNA so far has been. It's just been a really good run on that end. I have one other thing, and that I want to talk about, and that was the Roxanne Perez situation, because she obviously was on a nice little streak when she was NXT champion. She's put on some really good matches in these losses. So I do want to say that she's put on some really good matches in these losses. I don't want her to get lost in the sauce. I don't think she will, but she would make a great Intercontinental or, U.S. champion whenever that decides to happen. And as much as I love Zelina Vega, and I know I'm jumping ahead here, she might be the person that is going to be right to take that title when the time is right. I just don't think the crowd is behind Vega right now. And I hate to see, like, she comes out to the ring and it's just like that. She's all excited. No one's saying anything. She gets right before they say her name, she gets a little baby cheer. But I hate the fact that no one's excited for it. For me personally, I wanted her, that opportunity would have been great after the Puerto Rico show. Would have been amazing for her because she had the energy. Once again, an international crowd that could have taken it to another height, because we've seen that with Io, and it would have been nice to have her, have that moment, but we'll see. And so, yeah, I'm very excited. I think Io was able to capitalize off of it beautifully, And it would have been nice to see Vega capitalize off of it, but unfortunately, that's not the case. But I don't want to see Roxanne get lost in the sauce. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man, because that's not somebody you want to have lost in the sauce. That girl puts out classics. Again, because y'all released her best friend, Cora Jade. So, don't do Roxanne the same way. Because, of course, Cora dedicated her life to y'all. Crazy. That one was wild. But, we talked about some of the great things with NXT. Now it's time to talk about, some of the best things at the end of the week with Friday Night SmackDown, baby. Crazy. So, SmackDown, I think, had a lot of interesting points. Of course, there's a couple things we got to talk about when it comes to SmackDown. Of course, I can talk about the big blood, the man with the magic boot, Jacob 5'2", Simone Werewolf. I could talk about the woman that proceeds with caution. Could talk about that. I could even talk about some of the greatness that, I feel like, Jay's kind of been putting out. Jay Cargill. She's been doing a little bit of greatness herself. But one of the main things we got to talk about, we just got to talk about how it started off. Because we started it off with my man, LA Knight. Yeah. Talking his ish, saying that he's really just, he's ready to get this U.S. title back. Damian Priest comes out, says that it's LA Knight's fault, says it's his fault that he lost at Mania. LA Knight says, well, if it wasn't for you getting in the middle of my match last week, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So, of course, now these men have they have a match together. Now they're going up against each other. What happens? Who comes through? Solo. Solo's out here, and he comes out, and he literally interrupts the whole thing, throws Damian Priest into the steel cage. And who else comes out? Oh, you know who it is. Hell, you know what it is. Hell. The man with the magic boot, the Samoan werewolf, the big blood himself, Jacob Fatu goes crazy and literally just comes and just decimates everybody. Throwing Damian Priest, throwing LA Knight, going crazy. And my man's looking strong. Solo out here supporting Jacob as he should be. But then later on, we find out that becomes a fatal four-way match at Backlash. And honestly, what did Jacob Fatu say? Line them all up. Because he's all gas, no brakes with it. And the crowd even went behind him and said it to him and followed up. Gotta love what this man is doing. Then we flash forward to Fraxia beating Pretty Deadly. Now, of course, this was the classic great tag team match. Who do I fear for? Pretty Deadly. Because you know why? I don't want to see them on that release list. Because the way they've been booking these boys, I'm scared for them. But that being said, Fraxium looked extremely strong. They looked great. They looked incredible. These men need to be on Raw because Raw needs it for their tag team division. They're lacking. At this point, don't want to overproduce or oversaturate SmackDown. SmackDown's already got enough tag teams as it is. Let's get some better tag teams on Raw. Then we flash forward to Jade and Tiffy Tom. They came out talking. And it was just Naomi coming out. Oh, shit. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie. This Naomi out here looks crazy. This Naomi right here has lost it. This Naomi right here has completely just lost her mind. And I ain't gonna lie. You really do have to proceed with caution because your life will be in shambles. Because the way this woman is cutting these promos, man, I'm loving this. And she literally comes out there, talks her ish to Jade, to Tiffy, and tells them that it's about to be a wrap for her to get that title. She's up next. And of course, Nia Jax comes out. That becomes a tag team match that we see later on, and we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Then we flash forward to Aleister Black beating The Miz. And honestly, it was a nice little stare down between Carmelo Hayes and Aleister Black. So we could be seeing a possible match with that. Love to see a title match possibly, but we'll see. Hopefully it's not a one and done, and hopefully it's not one of those stop and starts that y'all love to hit us with. Then we flash forward to Selena Vega beating Piper. Never. Now, honestly, I ain't gonna lie, man. This was a good match. This was a good match. I think I don't ever put nothing past when it comes to Zelina Vega, but I'll tell you this: when it comes to Piper, this girl is really just entertaining. I love to see the work that Piper does, whether it's just her backstage on the mic or even when she was just doing the slammies. And I don't know if anybody's seen that, but just the people, she was so entertaining, man. I love to see Piper work. So it was great to see. But of course, getting a good dub for Zelina makes her look good. But we can't keep doing this to the Secret Harvest. Then we flash forward to Randy, the Viper, the Predator, the Apex Predator, the Legend Killer himself, tells Cena that he's going to regret everything he said to him last week. He told him that his family's going to be watching. His family's going to be there, the next generation of Orcs, to be there to watch you lose to him. For him, Randy Orton, to get his 15th champion and to continue the legacy of what Randy Orton's continuing to try to do. The legacy, that wordplay was crazy to me. Randy was talking his ish, man. Then we flash forward to my favorite Ray, Ray Phoenix. Ray Phoenix beating Santos Escobar. And honestly, that led up to of course, Andrade's trying to pull Humberto and Garza. And that was a whole situation that turned into something that could possibly be something that they're doing. But we don't know what they got. I don't know. I have no idea. Overall, of course, Ray Phoenix gives us a classic match, as he always does, because that's what Ray Phoenix has been doing. Stop playing with that man. That man kicks with precision. That man kicks precise. Let's get it. Then we flash forward to the main event, to the tag team match with Naomi and Nia Jax losing to Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill. Now, honestly, this was a good match. Jade looked strong in this. But what happened after this? Naomi comes and attacks, beats the hell out of Jade Cargill, beats the hell out of Tiffy Time. Nia Jax is just in the corner. And Naomi, at the end, is just looking strong. But after that one, even after the match, Jade, this was a nice little sight, because I almost forgot about this for a second. This is a beautiful sight. I'm not going to lie. Seeing Jade with that title, I said, oh, okay, I can see this. I like this. Okay. Tiffany's like, can I get my title? Absolutely not.
Can I get my title?
Not happening when it comes to this. You're not getting that title back. Why? Because Naomi is coming for that title. Naomi is going crazy. Naomi is the one that's looking strong. And honestly, I loved how this looked, because this was the finish right here. Man. This was something that I thought to myself, maybe I really do need to proceed with caution. Okay? Because Naomi, hey, you killing it, girl. Keep doing what you're doing. Honestly, Naomi with the title, hand it to her. Because I think she's got to cook with this. This is going to be something that's going to be a whole momentum kind of thing that they need to do. Whether if Tiffany loses to Jade, now I'm not saying Jade needs to take that title, because I think that might be a little way too early to give to Jade Cargill. But if you take that title for Tiffany and give that to Naomi, I think that could be more than promising, sir. Because this could be something that could be really good. Hey, look, I'm with it. Naomi, Bianca, Jade for SummerSlam, I'm with that. Yes. Temple plays, you got it. I'm with that.
He called it.
Because that storyline works. Because we called that too. We talked about it. We had said they need to do something with this that's going to create a triple threat match, because it's going to happen. I mean, Bianca's a little injured right now with the little finger thing and all that. But, I like that whole thing that they got going on with Naomi, man. It's looking strong. And honestly, I'd be wrong if I didn't talk about my man. The man with the magic boot, the Samoan werewolf, the big blood, Jacob Fatu. Honestly, now his backstage segment that he had with Solo, I'm liking what Solo's doing. Solo's saying, I feel like Solo's kind of putting Jacob in these situations where it's like, man, you giving me more opponents than I ain't asking for. But Jacob saying, it don't matter. Line them all up. Yada, I mean, 5,
Yada, I mean.
2. Mr. Exclusive, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Look, hey, look. Now I gotta say, I love the idea of having this a night one match at SummerSlam between Naomi, Jade, and Naomi, Jade, and Bianca. My thing about this is that when we talked about it a couple weeks ago, you know, the storyline was the most like newer but more developed storyline heading into Mania season, because they had pretty much developed this, you know, ever since, you know, Jay got hit in the car. They had a couple of months in it. It made the most sense to have them involved at Mania. And yes, they did a splitsy on it, you know, and had Jade and Naomi go at it. Cool, that's fine and dandy. But where does Bianca hold all in this? We haven't seen Bianca since WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, since the Raw.
We haven't seen her. So now it's kind of like, you know, maybe she's getting some rest. I don't know what they're going with that. But when they do bring her back, she has to be involved in this. Like, it's really important for us to get I guess you could say a finish to this storyline if they're gonna, you know, have it. I would love to see Naomi win this belt, because Naomi's killing it right now, promo wise, and then on top of that, she is killing it on Twitter and Instagram. She has been a masterpiece.
Yeah,
she has been a masterpiece
on that Drew McIntyre level. Yo, with social media,
she is so funny. Let's be honest with you. I didn't know she had this, because they had her so locked into the glow and she was so happy. Heal her is funny, because she is bringing out that sassy side of her, and it is gold, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolute gold. She can be champ now, and it would work. You know, if they had done this when she was Glow Naomi, I'm like, I don't think it's going to work. She was Glow Naomi. She won the title, didn't have the same feel. This one's different, because she can talk on the mic. And as much as I like Tiffy time, Naomi is leaps and bounds better than her on the mic. She's a veteran. She's as athletic as they come. She still can go. I would love it. And like I said, I don't hate Tiffy time. It's just, I think it could work. So yes, Temple Players, I love that idea. I think that could be something special. I want to give some love to Pretty Deadly, because I feel a little bad for them. They were in this mix. Yeah, they were in this mix of great tag teams on SmackDown. We talked about how great this tag team division is compared to Raw. Raw's trash. Like it's dookie water up there on Raw, and no Diddy. But it's just like watching, you know, hate to see them kind of like fall to the wayside a little bit, because they are a really good tag team. But I loved it for Fraxim. I thought they went in there and had an amazing match, and it just shows the great talent that they were able to bring from NXT. Now, I wasn't a big fan of them initially on NXT, because I'm like, it just looks wise, and I'm not, you know, looks wise. They just didn't look like a great tag team. You know, I didn't like the name. I was just like, okay, whatever. But in the ring, nasty. Absolutely nasty in the ring. They do an amazing job. So I hope that the draft, whenever they do it, and I'm starting to hear that they may not do the draft until close to SummerSlam, because they have too many big shows happening, like back to back. You know, I think they have to go like they got, you know, Evolution. So they got to find a time in to mix the storylines and kind of make it happen. You know, El Grande, Briticana.
There it is.
I love it. So I'm interested. I'm just kind of interested to see how that end up playing out. But they've got to figure out some things there. Randy Orton, Cena. I know I said a little bit about this last week. I want to be excited for this match, because we've seen so much greatness from Cena and Orton, but I just don't like the way Cena looks in the ring right now. And I am worried that Randy's going to have to carry him. Like, that's just how I feel. Randy's going to have to carry him throughout this match. And I would love to see Randy win the belt. In St. Louis, it's going to be crazy, but we know how hometown people are in there when they got a title match. Sasha Banks can attest to this. Or Mercedes Moné, but when you have that hometown matchup, Sammy can attest to it. Things don't go well in the hometown winning the belt. I mean, it happens from time to time.
Very rare.
But it's very rare. So yes, the fans are going to be pumped. And so it's going to make it that much more sweeter.
Drew McIntyre.
Yes, Drew McIntyre. It's going to make it that much more sweeter for Cena fans or John Cena. It's gonna make it that much more sweeter for John Cena when he somehow sneaks this victory over Randy Orton. And so I hate that because I really think Randy would be amazing, absolutely amazing. Speaking of Jacob Fatu to form a new group with the returning Bronson Reed and Jeff that could be dangerous. That could be really dangerous.
Extremely dangerous.
Look, Jacob Fatu has already brought so much swag to the U.S. title. Now, the last couple of U.S. champions have been really solid U.S. champions. So I don't want to even Logan Paul, they had really good runs with the U.S. championship. The last couple they may have been shorter runs, but they've been really good, good wrestlers. They've been put on some pretty solid matches. Fatu right now is just a different animal. I can't wait to see this fatal 4-way. At Backlash. That's probably gonna be the one match that let's get it. So I'm excited about that. But overall, love SmackDown. I am intrigued to see how it all kind of unfolds, but it was a solid SmackDown for me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I think y'all touched on mostly everything, so I don't have to beat a dead horse here. I just want to say that when it comes to my highlight is the situation with Naomi, Jade Cargill, and of course Bianca Belair if she comes back into the picture. But I also like seeing Nia Jax in this, and I'm hoping that Nia Jax and Naomi become a thing. Because I kind of like the dynamic of them two together. Only thing I want to say about this specifically though is I feel like for the Money in the Bank, I feel like Naomi has to win it. And she has to win it, and she has to be going around with that Money in the Bank for a minute to be able to cash it. Because at some point, it's looking like Jade is going to get the title, and it's going to be it'll be a great story, to have Jade with the title, maybe Naomi lurking to cash in and get her get back or whatever you want to say.
You imagine that Money in the Bank with a caution tape around it?
Let's go. Hey,
look with that.
Proceed with caution.
They need to make it black and
yellow,
and then have it wrapped on.
With a caution.
She got to win that match.
Yeah, they can go a lot of places with this, but I like the way this story is developing, and Naomi is in her bag right now. So I want to let her run, let her cook. Jade is kind of rounding the corner as far as coming around as a wrestler in the ring, and then also looking like somebody that could possibly be ready to be the women's world champion. So we'll see what happens, but that's probably the best highlight of the night for me because I'm interested to see how this dynamic shakes out with all of these women involved. Because SmackDown pretty much has probably the second best women's division when it comes to wrestling compared to NXT. So yeah, we're gonna see. Naomi's doing her thing right now. I love the proceed with caution. El Grande Brittancano. Hey, you are killing it, man. I love it. Hey, this is hilarious, man.
I love it.
Oh my god.
Look at the match though. Look at the match.
I know.
It's great. This whole thing is great. El Grande Brittancano.
I love it.
Oh my god.
But yeah, that's hilarious. That gimmick, that whole thing is hilarious. But yeah, really that's my thing with SmackDown. So yeah, let's go, Naomi. Let's go.
Yeah, definitely. I think, I agree with you guys 100%. We need to get Naomi that title. I think I'm with you on that Money in the Bank though, because I ain't really thinking about it. I was like, oh yeah, if she gets that Money in the Bank, yeah, I can see that. That would be the one that caused it to go like crazy.
Yeah. I've always felt that with the Money in the Bank, you have to have someone that can talk well.
Yeah.
So because if you wanted to be a quick Money in the Bank, you give it to somebody that doesn't talk well. If you want to go along with the Money in the Bank and you need somebody to like extend that thing and really just like, no, Diddy, that sounded really bad.
Yeah,
but if you need somebody to extend the money in the bank, movement there. You have to have somebody who can talk. Naomi, the what she's proven right now, she could hold that Money in the Bank for as long as they need to, and just really just torment people over the next couple of months. So I am intrigued to see where they go with that. Very intrigued.
Yeah, and anytime El Grande, gracias, bruv, gracias. But yeah, and I love the idea of Naomi running around for a while, telling everybody to proceed with caution while holding the Money in the Bank. I think that's just gold. Like, hey, whoever got the title, you proceed with caution.
And every time you hear the music, you just see her out with the
just going crazy, start laughing.
Yeah,
hey, that laugh has been crazy.
Yeah,
she's killing it.
She really is, man. Oh man, but we talked about some of the great things with Monday Night Raw. With the visionary, the Monday Night Messiah, the good old lovable loser.
The good old lovable
El Generico.
My God. Generico. And we had to talk about NXT, with Hollywood Trick, Hanging Tank, and Io Sky going to the moon.
Yeah. That's my girl, man. I love Io. I'm so happy.
Going crazy. Yeah. And we had to talk about SmackDown, the man with the magic boot, the big blood.
The yada that means.
And of course, proceeding with caution with Naomi. Hey, make sure you guys follow all of our social medias. Facebook, we on that. Instagram, we on that. We on that. TikTok, we on that. Man, look, please make sure y'all keep dropping some stuff and giving us some love. We're going to keep giving y'all content the exclusive way. That's just what we do, baby. So, as always, we are the Exclusive Knights, and we always make sure that your nights are always just well in stored. Because I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. We had the legacy maker himself, Mr. Exclusive, and the one man and the only man that can check you in to the Heartbreak Hotel.
Gracias.
Because we are the Exclusive Knights, because we always ensure that we are the best there is, the best there was, and the best that ever will be. And to always ensure that your nights will never be the same.
Let's get it. You know why?
Because
that's great.
See.
He didn't pass away.